So welcome back everyone to session 2 on Real Talk with Joy. We have here in our studios no one else than Dr. Jerome Dinga. He is a great humanitarian scientist and he's going to be continuing this session while we're going to be talking more about MGG Foundation, leadership, successes, failures, and the world at large. Dr. Dinga. Now, Dr. Dinga, if you would, so what's the core vision of MGG Foundation? And then what's the long-term vision, if I may ask?
All right. The immediate vision of MGG, right, is to identify these vulnerable communities, including persons with disabilities,
Of course.
and provide them with resources or skills that can help them improve their life quality. And the long-term vision is about getting a government of not just Cameroon, but African governments and why not the rest of the world to enact policies that will make life better for persons with disabilities.
Okay.
And why not get to the position, because MGG, in as much as MGG is now going global, we cannot be in every country. So why can MGG not get to a position where MGG will now be giving funds to other non-profits around the world
Very interesting. Yeah,
who have the same values as MGG to carry out these activities in their own countries where MGG is not present.
Yeah, it's all for the same goal, all for the same long-term
Definitely.
goal, since both organizations or subsequent organizations out there would have, they do have this passion for, assisting those, like you said,
Yeah.
either based on just whatever the criteria of the individual.
So long as they share the views with the values with MGG
Absolutely,
Foundation.
yes. Okay.
Good to go, yeah.
Now, for me, I may say, when you think about being a humanitarian, or probably having a NGO, first thing that comes in mind is, you have to be compassionate and everything else. Now, there's a gray area. How do you balance compassion, with practicality, when resources are limited? How do you manage that?
When resources are limited.
Because a lot of people that might go in and say, let's just be compassionate, we're helping, being there to assist and everything else. But you still need to sit back and realize that, resources are necessary. And there's also practicality that matters. So there's compassion, practicality, and resources that's also, interjected together. So how do you manage that? How do you balance that compassion with those, if you may say?
To answer your question in one word, I'll begin with the same word: transparency.
Okay, we could go with that.
Transparency.
All right.
I openly communicate the constraints of the project with the team members.
Okay.
I listen to their needs,
Okay.
right? And I also try to prioritize the well-being of the team. But at the same time, while doing that, I also try to meet setting goals of the project.
Absolutely.
Okay? So that is one way I try to keep things going when resources are limited. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really great. Now, in the midst of the world, you're just very busy with your work as a humanitarian public health activist as well, and being out there cushioning a lot of, quenching fires and things like that. When do you have time for you? How do you set those boundaries, between yourself, how do you take care of yourself, when caring for others? Because it's a lot. You have to keep pouring. How do you have time for yourself as well? Because you realize that a lot of people they have a strong need for you, for what you have out there, what offers. So where do you have time for Dr. Dinga? And how do you balance those two things? Personal, professional?
What I try to do is trying to create this work-life balance,
Sure.
right? I try to do the things that recharge me.
Okay.
For example, exercising, reflection, have a quiet moment to think about things, and spending time with my loved ones. We should remember that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
So I need to create this environment where I need to recharge myself, and the only way I can take care of others sustainably is to take care of myself.
I love it.
Right?
Of course.
I can only take care of people sustainably by taking care of myself, and this may require doing those little things that recharge me, even if me just doing 1 or 2 of them a day.
That's really awesome. That's really important. Yeah, you need to pour in, take care of yourself well before you can pour out into
Exactly.
others, etc. And I know, I really do truly appreciate your little time coming up on the show to talk about what, the Humphrey program. And I know you do have a few of the Humphrey Fellows and others that you believe that really were a strong attribute to your success at this level. Can you just probably mention 1 or 2 or something that you might want to say something about throughout your journey with the Humphrey program? Because I know behind stage you were talking about a particular professor, the task force. Say something about it. Let's hear about it.
I think the Humphrey Fellows at our Rolling School of Public Health,
Yes.
they are an amazing group of people.
Awesome.
We are 11 of us from 11 countries.
Yes.
From Colombia, there is Lina from Colombia, there is Tao from China, there is Sanya from Macedonia, there is Meve from Turkey, there is Dimitro from Ukraine, there is Anise from Burundi, there is Ishad from Pakistan, there is is that up to 11?
No, it's not. It's about 7. It's about 7. But I mean, 11
There
countries.
is Yamin from Myanmar.
Wow. Okay.
Am I
That's
done?
awesome.
No, there is Reti from Indonesia.
Well, you need to make sure you hit all 11. Okay, now
Yeah.
yourself from
I think-
Cameroon.
of course. There you go.
Cameroon.
And myself from Cameroon.
Cameroon, okay.
So this is a wonderful group of people.
Okay.
And the way we've bonded in as a cohort is so wonderful. It feels as if we knew each other somewhere before coming to the US.
Okay.
So it has been wonderful. And what is amazing me amongst us as a cohort, 11 of us, is the issues of conflict resolution. Somehow we've not had any conflict
Wow.
as a team. And I've been asking myself a little bit, why is that? But I think what I can put my finger on is the fact that there's this mutual respect for each other.
That's good.
And there's this mutual tolerance. So when if somebody makes a mistake of any kind or offense of any kind, they quickly apologize and the other person quickly forgives.
That's really
So
important.
before you realize it, before you think that there's something, you realize there's nothing. So we're always jovial and then we support each other,
That's really important.
Each person, because the way the Humphrey Fellowship is being designed, they push you to bring the best out of you. So you need to go out there. They give you the platform and the opportunity to go out there and network, create friends, collaborators, events, get involved in the community, volunteer and stuff like that. So when somebody has something going for them, the others support.
Okay.
And for example, I was elected president of the Emory Disability
Wow.
Illness
That's
and Divergent Collaborative at
That's
Rawlings.
awesome. That's huge.
And whenever, also known as EDIDC, whenever EDIDC has an event, the other fellows show up.
It's very imperative.
Yeah, and MGG, as part of the Humphrey Fellowship, I registered it in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
And so that also involved creating the US Board of Directors.
Okay.
And the Secretary General of the US Board of Directors of the MGG Foundation is actually one of the Humphrey Fellows, and that is Ishad Ahmed from Pakistan.
Pakistan.
So
Awesome.
it shows how far we've gone
Wow,
as
that's
creating a friendship and bonding within the cohort of fellows of the 2024-2025 Humphrey Fellows at
Wow,
Rawlings.
and that's like a more on a personal and professional level
Exactly.
as well. That's really awesome.
So
And
this
I-
shows that we'll continue interacting with each other
Yeah.
way beyond the Humphrey Fellowship.
That's really, that's so amazing. That's really huge. Piggybacking off what you did, make mention of how that this unity, respect between all 11 Humphrey Fellows from all around the world. I'm not really for certain how it's being selected, but I know a lot of people. Give us a little iceberg and how what is the process of selecting this 11 individuals? I mean, because somebody out there might be interested in saying, okay, I think I want to be part of this Humphrey program, or I would like to know more or learn more. Definitely, you all could see you have to go online to the Emory, www.emory.edu to get more information. But from your experience, just give us a little tip of the iceberg.
The Humphrey Fellowship,
Yes,
allow me to say it's a prestigious fellowship,
of course.
and it's very competitive. From the day of initial application to the final selection, it takes 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
So this program is meant to identify mid-career professionals around the world.
Okay.
Not forgetting to state that this program was instituted by the late President Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Jimmy Carter instituted this fellowship in the early 80s, and this was to honor Hubert Horatio Humphrey, who was the then Vice President of the U.S. of the United States from 1965 to 1969.
So this program was instigated by the late U.S. United States President Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
And it was also instigated by who else? I mean, you said
No. He instituted the program in honor of Hubert Humphrey,
who was the
Vice President of the United States from 1965 to 69.
Oh, that's awesome.
Before Jimmy Carter became president.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Jimmy Carter saw Hubert Humphrey as an exemplary civil servant, and he decided to institute this program to identify mid-career professionals around the world who have had impact on their community,
Sure.
bring them to the US for 1 year and train them in leadership skills, leadership roles, so that when they go back to their community, they were able to do greater impact compared to what they were doing before.
That's awesome.
All right, so to get a fellowship, you must have done something in your community for at least 5 years, and between the ages of 30 and 50. And the U.S. embassies in all the countries around the world,
All the world, yeah.
organize the national competition. So they announce the call and the nationals apply. The U.S. Embassy selects 5 people from all the people that applied for interview, and from the 5, they select the best 2. Now, these best 2, the files are sent to Washington, D.C. Now, Washington, D.C. now collects the best 2 around the world, and then do a final selection. So it is very competitive, right? So I will encourage anyone that has done any kind of community work, any kind of activity that has had impact on the community. It could be something, activities in the legal field, human rights, with gender-based violence, the environment, substance abuse, public health,
Okay.
you name it. All you need to do is to show that you've had impact on your community. Then you apply, and then you have a good chance of coming. And even if you don't master the English language very well, that shouldn't stop you, because the mastery of the English language is not a requirement. It's not will not stop you. When they identify a good candidate, even if you're not good in English, you're still being selected.
Absolutely.
And then you're brought on earlier than the others for an extra English language training in the US.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you feel like you have this impact, please, you can always apply. You can check the Rollins School of Public Health at Emory website about the Hubert Humphrey program, and you'll get more information about the application
Process and everything else. Thank you so very much. So now, Dr. Dinga, I know you have great ideas which have already been implemented when it comes to medical personnel's, medication equipments and things like that. But what is this other one entity or just one niche that has not been implemented that you feel as though could be utilized, that could be effective or efficient for, to implement, to enhance the public health policies within your establishment, village, town, if I may say?
Okay, concerning, apart from health personnel, or drugs, medications,
of course,
medical equipments, and the one thing I would think that can help the efficiency, enhance the efficiency of public health policies is potable water.
Potable water, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
potable water. So many of these infectious diseases, right, disproportionately affect vulnerable communities. And these are usually communities in villages, remote villages that are far away from the city center, and it takes a while to get to them. And given the fact that so many of these infectious diseases are transmitted by water, because in these communities, what they use as water source is our streams and rivers.
Of course.
So they collect drinking water from these streams, and they use this very stream for, say, laundry and other activities. So it serves as those streams serve as a fertile ground for the transmission of infectious diseases. So if boreholes could be created in these villages, right? This will provide a safe and potable water. And this will prevent them from going to these streams and rivers, which serves as transmission route for infectious diseases. So the one thing that can be done, apart from building health centers and providing medication, health personnel, and biomedical equipment, is to provide potable water in these communities. That would cut the transmission of infectious diseases and improve the life quality and health of these persons. And the money that they would have been used to go to the hospital or to buy drugs could be used for other activities that can benefit the family.
That's really, really imperative. Yeah, I could see it coming from your view.
Thank you.
Very, 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 very excited about this because I know the world, certain people definitely they want to be, part of this or just want to have that strong information, that way they can go back, reflect and decide if this is something that would be a good fit for them or so. Now, if you would, on a lighter note, now tell us, okay, if the audience, of course, everyone's been sitting through listening to the whole show, should we have one or two audience that decides to want to reach out to you, what's the best contact information, and any final remarks to our audience, please?
Okay, if you want to reach out to us, you just go to our website, which is www.mggfoundation.us. There you have all the various ways and platforms with which you can reach us. There's also a form on the website where you can register to be part of us, either through volunteering or through partnering or sponsorship. You're all welcome. And just to end, finally, what I would say is MGG still needs more resources to create this international impact on vulnerable communities, including persons with disabilities. So please welcome on board. Please get in touch if you have any ideas that you know can impact the life of these persons, or you want to serve on the board as one of the directors in available capacities. Everything's on the website. You see what is vacant and what is available and how to register for it. Please come. We need the ideas. We need the resources, be it human, being material, and otherwise. Just come and let's join forces together and create a better world for persons with disabilities and vulnerable communities.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Dinga. Thank you so much, Dr. Dinga. This really is really touching because I know there's a lot of need out there. There's a huge need. We have beyond persons with disabilities. They're like fractions of like communities that do need help. Like let's say water supply, different countries, and thank God. And I do really appreciate what MGG Foundation is doing and how they're looking at reaching out beyond Cameroon, beyond Africa to other continents to see with one person at a time, just bringing change and also networking with other nonprofit organizations as well, just to create impact and make the world a better place. And it's nothing. We cannot do it all alone. It takes one, and then from one, then it's just building up teams, etc. So this is really a huge opportunity for everyone out there. Once again, the information for MGG Foundation, you can see it on your screen. You can send an email directly, info@mggfoundation.us. And also at a higher note, if I may say, thank you so very much once again.
Thank you
so much. You viewers, you are the only ones that can make this happen. Thank you for your thoughts. And I've been tuning in today for today's show and Real Talk with Joy. We're also real people living real lives and in a real world. We all need each other. So the little you can do to bring change. You don't have to have a huge, massive foundation like MGG Foundation, but you at your little opportunity out there, your little time, just whatever you're doing, you can reach out to touch someone's life. Just one person at a time, bring change because you are the change. We are the change, but we need you to bring this change and make this happen. So thank you once again for joining us in today's show, this episode of Real Talk with Joy. I am your host, Joy Mbong. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you. God bless. We'll see you soon.